Welcome everyone. Today we'll be discussing the difference between the three basic type of bonds, which are covalent, ionic and coordinate bond. Now what is a covalent bond? A bond which is found between atoms which share equal number of electrons with each other. Okay, so there is equal sharing of electrons. Now let's see an example of HCl. Now the electronic configuration of hydrogen is 1s1. For chlorine, it is the inert configuration of neon, and then 3s2, 3p5, which means hydrogen has just a single valence electron, whereas chlorine has 2 plus 5, 7 valence electrons. Okay, so hydrogen has just a single electron and chlorine has 7 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now hydrogen wants an extra electron to complete its duplet, whereas chlorine wants an extra electron to complete its octet. Okay, it wants to have 8 electrons in its valence shell. I'm talking about chlorine, whereas for hydrogen it wants 2 electrons in its valence shell. It wants to have the electronic configuration as 1s2 to attain stability. So what will happen is they both are sharing electrons, this electron and this electron, and they are going to make a single bond with each other. Now if you count the number of electrons for hydrogen, it will be 1, 2, which means after bond formation, hydrogen has gained the electronic configuration as 1s2, whereas now if you count the number of valence electrons for chlorine, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which means chlorine now has the inert configuration after bond formation, which is why they make bonds, okay, to gain stability. Now it has got the electronic configuration as 3s2, 3p6, and they both have gained stability. Now let's talk about ionic bonds. Now ionic bonds are those type of bonds in which there is donation and acceptance of electrons. For example, we have got NaCl. Okay, now the electronic configuration of Na, sodium, is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. So it has got just a single valence electron. Okay, so 1 electron in its valence shell. The third shell is its valence shell, and it has got a single electron in its valence shell. Talking about chlorine, as we saw previously, its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5, 3s2, 3p5. So it has got 7 electrons in its valence shell. 2 plus 5, 7 electrons. Now in ionic bonds, the case is that the electronegativity difference between the two atoms is so large that chlorine simply snatches the electron from sodium's stash of electrons, and makes itself negatively charged, whereas sodium, having lost an electron, gains a positive charge. It is so because when the electronegativity difference increases, okay, the gap increases between two atoms, there is a chance of formation of ionic bonds. Okay, so what will happen is that sodium will lose this electron from the 3s subshell, and chlorine has snatched it away from sodium. So chlorine has now gained 3p6 and has also gained a negative charge, whereas sodium, having lost this electron, now gains a positive charge. Now this is a positively charged ion, whereas this is a negatively charged ion. So what will happen is that there will be no bond formation, nothing like that. It's just an electrostatic force of attraction. The basics of electrostatic force is that unequal charges of equal magnitude attract each other equally. Okay, so there will be an attraction between each other, and they'll form a lattice in 3D, in three-dimensional space, in x-axis, in y-axis, as well as a z-axis. So they'll form a lattice like this, okay, with sodium ions and chlorine ions forming the spatial arrangement, and this will be the case for the ionic bond. Now let's talk about coordinate bond. Coordinate bond is also known as dative bond. Now in ionic bond, I told that there is a donation and an acceptance of electrons, whereas in coordinate bond there is a donation and acceptance of lone pair or lone pairs. Okay, and also coordinate bond is also known as dative bond. Let's see an example. See, for let's talk about carbon monoxide. Okay, carbon monoxide. Now the electronic configuration of carbon in its excited state, or maybe I should draw the orbital diagram in excited state. It is for 1s, 2s and 2p. 1s has 2 electrons. In 2s and 2p they have single electrons in excited state. Let me remind you again, I'm drawn this orbital diagram for carbon in excited state. So it has got 4 valence electrons, 4 unpaired electrons as well, so it will make 4 bonds. Okay, and it has 4 valence electrons having 4 VE. Now let's talk about oxygen. Now oxygen's electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 4, and it has got 6 valence electrons. Therefore it needs 2 more electrons to complete its octet, which means that it will make 2 more bonds to complete its octet. Okay, now let's draw the structure, and then you will be able to get a better grasp of coordinate or dative bond. So carbon has 1, 2, 3, 4 valence electrons, whereas oxygen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 valence electrons. Okay, now carbon needs 4 more electrons, whereas oxygen needs 2 more electrons. So what will happen is that they'll make single bonds. Okay, now I'll see and count the number of valence electrons. Let's proceed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So carbon is still short of electrons. It has just got 6 electrons presently. Let's count the number of electrons for oxygen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oxygen has completed its octet. But what about carbon? Since it hasn't completed its octet and hasn't gained 8 electrons, it is not stable. It is in unstable form. So why would carbon like to make bond with oxygen if it is not achieving stability? Okay, so what will happen is that oxygen will donate its extra lone pair, one of the extra lone pair to oxygen, simply donate it. Okay, so suppose I pick this electron from oxygen's stash, okay, and place it here. Let's suppose we know that it has both of the electrons has been shared by oxygen, but let's suppose I keep it here. Now let's count the number of electrons for carbon. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can replace it by a single bond, but we have to give negative and positive charges to oxygen and carbon. Okay, so now carbon has made or has completed its octet, and by counting the number of electrons we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whereas for oxygen also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now there is a positive charge and a negative charge, but overall the compound is neutral because positive charge is for oxygen, carbon has a negative charge. They both in a combined form cancel each other's charges, and carbon monoxide is still in a neutral form. So this was all about coordinate bond. Let's revise it again. See, in covalent bond there's a sharing of electrons from, suppose there's an atom X, there's an atom Y. They both are sharing electrons. They could be sharing 1 electrons, they could be sharing 2 electrons, 2 from X, 2 from Y. They could be sharing 3 electrons, 3 from Y, 3 from X. So this was covalent bond, and the number of shared electrons will be counted in both's account, in X's account also and in Y's account also. Now in ionic bond what happens is that one of the electrons snatches an electron from the different species. Suppose Y snatches an electron, or maybe 2 electrons. Let's suppose it snatches 2 electrons, so it will gain a 2 minus charge, whereas X, having lost 2 electrons, will gain 2 plus charge. Now they both will simply stick to each other by the force of electrostatic force. Electrostatic force of attraction. So this is just an ionic bond. See, its name is a fallacy. It is stating ionic bond, but there is no bond. It's just a force of attraction. Okay, just in the case of magnets, just in the case of a positively charged and a negatively charged ion, or simply charges. Okay, simple. It's just very simple. It's just electrostatic force of attraction. Always remember that ionic bond is not a bond, but just a simple electrostatic force of attraction. Now, talking about coordinate bond, we saw that we have got an atom X and we've got an atom Y. They're making bonds. Yeah, but one of the atom has not completed its octet or duplet and is still in unstable form. So what will happen is, suppose that X is having just a single extra lone pair and Y is in unstable form. It wants to complete its octet. Suppose it wants to complete its octet. X will say, okay brother, no problem, I'll give you the extra electrons, extra lone pairs, so that you gain stability, because I have already gained stability. X is already stable, but Y is not. They both being relatives of each other. X will say to Y, no problem brother, I'm giving you the lone pair, kindly be stable. So Y will now gain a negative charge and X will gain a positive charge. So this was all about the difference between covalent, ionic and coordinate bonds. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And also, if you're finding the videos useful, kindly do subscribe. It will help me a lot. It will mean a lot to me. Thank you so much.